guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to share my best tips for getting brand deals when you have no followers. So we all know that if you have a ton of followers, you can get brand deals and you get a bunch of free stuff, or maybe you even get paid to post about a product and it seems amazing. But I'm here to tell you that even if you have no followers, you can still work with brands. I know because I've done it. So currently I just reached 7,000 followers on Instagram, and on YouTube I have about 1,000 subscribers, but I've still been able to work with more than 30 brands, and I've received literally thousands of dollars worth of free product, from furniture to clothes to free vacations, and all of that was through all these tips that I'm going to share. If you're following me, you also know that I have an ebook all about this topic. In the ebook I share so many more details on all of this, but I thought that it would be kind of nice to give you a free resource too, with kind of like the best tips from the ebook. And if you're interested in checking out more details, you can use the coupon code in the description below. I'll share a little bit more at the end about what's included in that. But first, let's just dive into some of my biggest tips if you are wanting to work with brands and you have a teeny tiny following. So a lot of you probably already know this, but it's still good to mention because it's really important. So the first thing is you have to remember that brand deals are a trade, they're a partnership. So it's not going to work for you to just email a company and be like, oh my gosh, give me free shoes. Which, I mean, I think that's kind of obvious, but it kind of gets you thinking like, okay, this is a trade, so that means that I'm offering something and the company is offering something. So the company is maybe offering their free product for you. So what are you going to offer in exchange? It actually costs a business something to send you free product. So it costs them the expense of making the product, shipping the product, the time to get it to you, the time to email you. So they actually are already risking something by sending you the free product, even if it doesn't seem like it's that expensive of a product. So your goal is to offer them something that will more than make up for that cost. So obviously for big influencers, this is really easy because they have a large audience, and that's really valuable to a brand. So they can always offer a post in exchange for the product. But if you don't have a large following, a post might honestly not be worth that much to the brand. If you have amazing engagement, it might actually be worth a lot. So it's something to consider as a micro influencer. But if you know that a post on your feed isn't going to have a great return on investment for the company, there's so many things that you can offer outside of that. The most obvious one that you've probably already thought of, and that is really, really effective and easy to offer companies, is content creation. So pretty much every company is advertising in some form, and they need content to advertise for their product. They need photos for their website, they need videos, maybe they need product reviews. Especially if you are a photographer or a videographer, those are awesome things to offer a company instead of a post. The only thing I would add about that is you kind of want to think about this pitch as a job interview. You want to think about your Instagram or your YouTube as sort of a portfolio. So if you're going to offer a company high-res photos of their product in exchange for the gift, then you need to have examples on your Instagram of awesome product photos that they could really use. If you want to offer them photos but then your Instagram is all just like selfies with your friends, then that's probably not going to work. But if you're interested in brand deals, I'm guessing that you're already posting high quality content, so just something to keep in mind. In the ebook I talk about this more, but there's lots of other things you can offer if you don't feel like you can offer content. You could host an event and invite all these people. Let's say you have 100 people and each of them have 1,000 followers. Then you can pitch to the brand and show that their product will be shown to 100,000 people, because all 100 people that will be there are going to be showing it on their Instagram story. Maybe you're working on like an interior design project and you have no followers, but you can submit the photos to a magazine and the magazine has followers. Maybe you can partner with another influencer who has followers, and then your numbers are doubled between you and the other influencer. So there's a lot of things that you can offer, and it's just good to get really, really creative in this area. Just think about anything that a brand could use and how you can make that happen. Think about what your skills are and who might need those skills and how you can pitch them. Another way to go about this is, if you don't feel like you have anything that you can offer that's super valuable, you can get started by lowering the cost and the risk of the company. So maybe you can take photos with a product but then tell them that you'll return it when you're done. So there's really only the cost of shipping for them, or maybe you even cover that. And that's a good way to start working with brands and kind of get some portfolio and show people that you've worked with brands before without putting any risk on the company's end. Okay, so the next thing that's really important when you're pitching to a brand is how you write the email. So you want to make sure that your email is 3 things: 1, specific; 2, concise; and 3, professional. So the thing that I think most people do incorrectly is the specific part. So I've seen a lot of people reach out to companies and they'll just say like, hey, I love your shoes, let's collaborate. But on the company's end, that doesn't really give them anything to work with. Like if they want to collaborate with you, that means that they have to come up with the project idea, they have to pitch something to you in return. It's just asking for a lot of work on the company's end. You'll get a way better response if you pitch a specific project to the company. That way, even if they don't know who you are at all, they think like, oh, that sounds like a cool project, we could really get something from that. So for example, one thing that I've done before is like I saw some clothes that I really wanted, and instead of just emailing them or DMing them and saying, hey, I love your clothes, I'd love to work with you, I said, hey, I'm going to Joshua Tree next week on this day with these people for this project, and I would love to feature your clothes in the project, and I specifically love this outfit and this outfit. So if you pitch like that, then the company can look at the email and be like, okay, she wants these two outfits by this day, and this is what I'm gonna get out of it. And it's much more specific. And then all the brand has to do is say yes or no. They don't have to come back with any thoughts or ideas. They just have to say, yes, that sounds good, or no, that doesn't sound good. But that leads into the second tip about emails, which is to be concise. So you want to include all those details, as many details as possible, but ideally you want to do it in like 2 sentences or 3 sentences. So in the ebook, I have 8 different email templates about how you can fit so much information into like 2 or 3 sentences depending on your project. But you definitely want your email to be something that a brand representative could read in like 5 seconds. You know, just like skim the email really quick, know what you're asking for, have an answer. So the third thing that's really important about emails is they need to be professional. So I don't want to see anyone starting their email with, hey sweetie, or hey loves, or hey girl. Like sometimes, depending on the brand, I guess maybe that could work. For me personally, if somebody reaches out to me and wants to work with me and they call me sweetie, I'm not gonna work with them. Like that's a huge turnoff for me because I want to be taken seriously. And imagine how much more that's true for a company. You never want to email a company and start it with, hey girl. Follow me on Instagram. You've heard me rant about this so much, but seriously, like I can't handle the baby boos. If you don't have the person's name, you can say hello company team, like hello H&M team. It doesn't mean that you can't be friendly. Like it's still great to show some personality. Once I've gotten to know a brand a little bit and I've talked back and forth with them, every once in a while I'll include like a smiley face, but that's only after a relationship has been formed and you really want to come across as like a professional that they can trust with their product and that they know that they'll get something amazing out of it. So I have had a lot of brands be down to work with me just from a cold email, but it's also pretty cool and like a lot more effective, I would say, to form a relationship with the brand first. So some of my best brand partnerships have been with companies that I've kind of formed a relationship on Instagram first, and then I reached out to them via email. So for example, if a company reposts my photo, which by the way, if a company reposts one of your photos, you have to reach out to them. That's like the best sign that they want to work with you, because not only are they looking for content and reposting photos, but also they love your style and they chose your photo to repost. So if you ever tag a company and they repost it, you should definitely reach out to them. I feel like those are the companies that I have the most success with. But also that's just a good opportunity to form relationships. For example, one time I stayed at an Airbnb for a job, and I took a couple photos there just for fun, and I tagged the Airbnb in my photos on Instagram. So tagging a company is a great way to get their attention. And then the Airbnb reposted my photo of my stay there. And so I commented on their repost of my photo and I said, had such a great time staying here, love to come back sometime and take some more photos for you. And that was just my way of kind of opening up the door to a relationship. So it wasn't a formal pitch, but it was just like, let's interact more, like thank you for reposting me and keep me in mind for future collaborations, that type of thing. So sometimes that goes nowhere and then I just continue to kind of form the relationship and keep in touch with them. But in this case, the manager of the Airbnb actually replied to my comment and said, would love to, email me. And then from there, I sent a full email pitch and I said, like, this is the project, this is what we can offer you, and this is what we want in exchange. And he was down for it. And now he's somebody that I love to work with, and we stayed at multiple Airbnbs of his and his friends. Another example of a relationship that I'm working on is Target. So it's a dream of mine one day to partner with Target on an ad or a project or a collection or something like that. So I'm starting now for hopefully in a few years working with Target. So a few months ago I designed a bedroom that used almost entirely all Target furniture. So I tagged them in the photos and mentioned them in my story and said, just designed a whole Target room, blah, blah, blah. And Target replied to my story and just said, so cool, love it, something simple like that. And even though they're a huge company, I was like, I'm just gonna see where we can go with this. So I replied to Target's story reply and I said, thanks so much, I'd love to send you guys the high-res images. Is there a good email I can send them to? So that's an example of like, I'm not actually pitching them anything, I'm just offering them something and not asking for anything in return, and hoping that because of that, if I do it more and more often, I'll start to be able to form a relationship with them, so that weeks or months or years down the line, if I have the perfect project that I think Target would be really interested in, I've already kind of formed a relationship with them. So you can do that on a smaller scale with smaller companies just by commenting on their photos, replying to their stories, asking them good questions, and make sure your comments are not just like, oh, love it, cute, but the more that your comments are really heartfelt and really like just more meaningful than that, you'll get a better response. So instead of just like, oh, cute shoes, you can comment and be like, wow, that material looks amazing, I'm so impressed with your quality. And even just that is kind of saying the same thing, but the comment feels so much more intentional, and it's something that the company would more likely pay attention to and maybe check out your profile. So I have so many more tips and I would love to answer all of your questions. So if there's anything that I touched on just in general in this video and you have a more specific question or want me to dive into it more, please leave a comment and I'm happy to answer any questions. I really want this to like benefit you and make it possible for you to work with brands. So if there's anything you have questions about or just concerns about, feel free to leave a comment and I'll answer it the best that I can. And then of course there's my ebook, which is $10, but if you use the coupon code below, you can get a discount on that. And that has just way more details on every single one of these topics. And then it also has 8 different email templates that you can use depending on what type of project you want to do. So with the templates, you can just copy and paste them and you can change a few details and fill in the blanks, and then those should work really well for like a quick template to reach out to companies. I also talk a lot more about how to use Instagram, what types of brands to work with, more details about how to write the email, so many different things. So that ebook is something I'm so proud of. I feel like I put just all this information in there, like everything I've ever learned about brand partnerships is in the ebook. So I wanted to give you some information for free, but if you want to know more, I really feel like the ebook could be so helpful, so feel free to check that out or just ask me questions in the comments. I think it kind of builds your credibility on social media to work with brands, but it's also really nice to just get free stuff and be able to trade skills instead of pay money. So I hope this inspired you and got you excited, and I would love to hear from you if you used any of these tips and applied them and got to work with a brand. That'd be so exciting, so please let me know if this video helped you out, and check out my ebook below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video. That really helps me grow too. Good luck on all your future brand partnerships, and I'll see you next time.